It, I would say it's the book of clearest intellect, intelligence, in English, in any language, novel in any language. It's so clear-sighted, so lucid, so logical, and therefore so frightening. Thank God Dr. Shin edits everything so that he'll prevent some embarrassment. I'll only embarrass myself in front of him and myself. Okay, in Candide, I'll tell the story briefly. This is by Voltaire, a relatively short novel, philosophical novel, let's call it. Much more philosophical than I think he thought, maybe than he thought. The names are a little bit difficult, but here we go. At the center of the play, there are 4 young people, 2 young men, 2 young women, and they are, or think they are, in love. I better explain the title. A Midsummer Night's Dream means a dream that's a little bit crazy, in this case funny. This is a continuation of Antony and Cleopatra. And I know I'm using the word, I use these superlatives, great, the best, and all that. I know I said that King Lear is the most powerful, the most moving of the tragedies. And I'd make that distinction, though Antony and Cleopatra is almost as moving under totally different circumstances. It's the greatest of Shakespeare's plays, I think. This is a continuation of Antony and Cleopatra. And I know I'm using the word, I use these superlatives, great, the best, and all that. I know I said that King Lear is the most powerful, the most moving of the tragedies. And I'd make that distinction, though Antony and Cleopatra is almost as moving under totally different circumstances. It's the greatest of Shakespeare's plays. As You Like It, most people, I think that it's the greatest of Shakespeare's comedies. Maybe. Twelfth Night, too. But still, it's a wonderful play. The date, probably 1598, just as Shakespeare is entering his great period. With 1599, the next year, Julius Caesar, and the string of great tragedies. So it's the mature Shakespeare. The same year probably of Henry IV, Part 1. I'm going to tell you about the Bacchae, B-A-C-C-H-A-E, by Euripides. Euripides is one of the 3 giant writers of tragedy of the Greeks, as you may know. Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides. All 3 were in Athens. All 3 were basically Athenians. They are the 3 glories of Greek tragedy. Dostoevsky was a great psychologist, the greatest in fiction, I think. It's hard to judge these things, but Lord, he was interested in the depths of human beings, and in his opinion, and I think in most people's opinions, the Russians are great. Russia provided great samples of psychological complexity and emotional intensity, such passion. Hi, today I'm going to tell you about the Canterbury Tales of Geoffrey Chaucer. I think it's the greatest poem in English. In fact, I know it is. There is nothing greater. To Catcher in the Rye. Wonderful book. The central character is Holden Caulfield. Holden, H-O-L-D-E-N. Caulfield, C-A-U-L-F-I-E-L-D. He's 16 years old, and the action of the novel takes place over one extended weekend, from Friday to Monday, just before Christmas. Holden has flunked out, important expression, flunked out of his 5th private school, Chrysanthemums, Steinbeck. Chrysanthemum is a flower. Okay. Like most of Steinbeck, it's situated in California in the Salinas Valley. I've never been there, but he made it famous. Agricultural farm. It's one of the best novels in the world's literature, as far as I know. Depth of religious feeling. There's more religious, what should we say, conviction, I think, and even more religious thinking in this novel than there is in Brothers Karamazov. In the first canto, Dante says that he was halfway along his road of life. Well, that means biblically we have 70 years. We can expect maybe 70 years of life if we're relatively fortunate. This is an absolutely great story, formally, because I don't know many Hemingway short stories, but in this one, Hemingway is kind of an experiment. He slashes. There's almost no description. There are almost no he said, she said. There is no he said and scratched his toe or something. Hills Like White Elephants, Hemingway. 1920s. Typical Hemingway, but a very good one. Okay, the situation, Spain. Well, I'll tell you about my relationship with Goethe. When I went to France just after graduating from college, I was on fire, and I learned French, and I taught myself some German. I was really interested, especially to read Goethe. Okay, then, and as an undergraduate, I had read Faust in translation. We're going to talk about the Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is the great epic poem of Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, the Greek name for the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The earliest, there are many versions, many traces of this poem remaining. The earliest ones from about 2000 BC. They are in Sumerian. And basically the myth is Sumerian. The Sumerians were the first civilized people maybe in the world. I'm going to talk to you today about Dickens' novel Great Expectations. I think most people would say that it is his masterpiece, though close seconds are Bleak House, which few foreigners, and I know Koreans, have heard of, but they should read it. Close second, I would say. David Copperfield, close third. In that order, the three best, I think. Okay, today we're going to talk about Gulliver's Travels. This really is an important and a great work by Jonathan Swift. The date is around 1726. Swift is interesting, and I'll tell you some things about him. In fact, he's fascinating. He was born of English parents in Ireland. Catholic, subjected, miserable Ireland. Around, say, 1670. I'm going to mix my account, I'm going to mix into my account plot and analysis, especially character analysis, but also analysis of what Hamlet, the play, means. Of course, some of these things are debatable. Do you understand? To debate. That is, not all experts will agree. Carson McCullers, it's called The Jockey. Also about 3 pages long. Now we shift to American culture. The location here is Saratoga. Saratoga in New York State was and is a center of horse racing. Today we will complete Julius Caesar. It really is a wonderful play. Immediately, ad rem, to the matter, Latin. A-D-R-E-M. Okay, we're in Act 3. The assassination is complete. Brutus has spoken to the crowd. Emotionally powerful drama. This frightens me. I'm glad that Dr. Shin told me only now, because it's true that I tend to become emotional about the things I talk about. Well, King Lear, I'm afraid of. It is so, in class, I don't let myself read, I let others read Lord of the Flies. Golding writes this, what shall we say? This is the most lucid, I used that word about 1984 too, but lucid analysis of human nature that I can think of in a novel. That's interesting. A rival to it might be Gulliver's Travels by Swift. It has problems too, but for profundity, it's its equal, and really it may be a better written novel. These words, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo, often misunderstood, means why are you a Romeo? Why are you a Montague? Why couldn't you be some other family so that I could love you and marry you? Why must you be a Montague, my family's enemies? But there it is. Presumably they were together sexually only once, and unluckily, I guess, maybe not so unluckily, but unluckily, let's say, she conceived. Okay, now let's look at this man. He's a respected preacher, apparently a very devout religious faith, a theologian. I'm going to talk to you about T.S. Eliot and W.H. Auden, and that's a good pairing. I know a lot about Eliot because I wrote my master's thesis on him. The topic was his criticism, that is, the criticism that he wrote, because he was the critical authority of the first half of the 20th century, continuing with That Evening Sun by Faulkner. Remember that we have a narrator here, and the narrator early in the story, I think, mentions 15 years ago. And gradually we will see, suddenly toward the end we will see who this narrator is. Okay, The Great Gatsby. Fitzgerald was from the Midwest, and this novel in a sense is about somewhat innocent Midwesterners going east, going to the Big Apple, so to speak, and to the big, the most prestigious universities, big money too. The novel is situated in the 1920s. I talked to you about Dante's Divine Comedy, and you heard that Dante Pilgrim is different from Dante author. These are two different people. Similarly, the speaker of a poem is not the same as the author of the poem. In fact, their relationship is quite similar. Speaker, author, different. Okay, we have a speaker. Now, returning to stanza for a second. You can only have stanzas if the poem is divided into regular groups of words. In Young Goodman Brown, openly an allegory, that is, the characters are allegorical. Faith is his bride, his wife, they're newlyweds. What a name. So she represents really his faith. It's symbolized by those pink ribbons, and it's a moral allegory, not primarily psychological, but very psychological. Anyway, he goes into the dark woods. He knows he shouldn't be there. He promises that he'll only go there once. Is this a sexual infidelity? Don't know. Don't care. Doesn't matter. He knows